Woohoo! I'm live and I'm here with the players of the Carnivore Theater, and we're all here to talk a little bit about shorting stocks. Now, in order to talk about shorting stocks, we're going to start off with talking about trading stocks. And in order to trade stocks, I need a seller, someone who owns some stock, and I need a buyer, someone who has some money but would like to have some stock or some shares of stock. And then in the middle of these is going to be a broker, possibly more than one broker, very likely more than one broker. So what generally happens is if you have stock or you have money and you want to exchange these, what you're going to do is you find a broker, and a broker is someone who's going to help you trade the stock for the money or the shares for the money. Now, a broker could be someone at an institution where you walk in and you talk to someone, or it could be someone who is working through an app or through an online application of some sort. But generally speaking, there will be a broker in the middle, and the broker will help the trade happen. So Godzilla has stock and would like to trade it for some money. The buyer, Sharktopus, has some money and they would like to trade. And generally speaking, what happens is Godzilla gives the stock to the broker, who then passes it along to Sharktopus, and Sharktopus takes the money, gives it to the broker. Now, the broker is going to keep a little bit of the money. Usually brokers charge a fee for each trade. It could be a flat fee. In other words, they just charge you straight up $10 to trade, or it could be a percentage, or it could be both. So usually the broker is going to make a little money, and then the seller gets some of the money, the broker gets some of the money, and the buyer, Sharktopus, gets the stock. This is a regular trade. These happen a lot, every single day. Many shares are being traded all around the world. In general, in a regular trade, Sharktopus here bought the stock, so would buy the stock, and then at a later date, unless Sharktopus just wants to hold on to the stock, Sharktopus might turn around and say, you know what, I'd like to make some more money. Now, Sharktopus paid $2 for that share of stock. So if Sharktopus is able to find someone who wants to buy this for more than $2, then Sharktopus will make a profit. If for whatever reason the stock goes down in value, don't lose the stock, Sharktopus. If the stock goes down in value and Sharktopus cannot sell it for the price that he bought it, he buys it up here, but he sells it down at a lower price, then Sharktopus has lost some money. Now, in a regular trade, the only money that you are risking is the price that you bought at. So if Sharktopus bought it for $2, then if Sharktopus never sells it, then Sharktopus never gets the $2 back, but has the stock. It's possible that something happens if the stock is suddenly worthless, then Sharktopus is out the $2. In a regular trade, you can only lose the money that you invested to buy the stock. Now, let's move on to shorting a stock. Now, shorting a stock is a little different, so I'm going to move our players around. I'm going to put the broker over here. There we go. So in a short stock or shorting stock situation, the broker owns the stock. Now, brokers own a lot of shares of stock as part of what they do to help facilitate all of the trades. So this broker owns a share of this stock, a given company. Godzilla, sorry about that. Godzilla, you'll notice, starts with nothing. And Sharktopus is going to be the buyer, again, has some money, wants to buy the stock. Now, Godzilla would like to trade the stock, but you'll notice the seller has no stock. So how's this even going to work? Well, Godzilla turns to his friend, the broker, and says, hey, can you help me out here? And the broker, whose job it is to make lots of money, says, sure, yeah, here, I will lend you the stock. Now, remember, this stock does not belong to Godzilla. The stock belongs to the broker. So the broker has lent the stock to Godzilla. Now it's going to look like a normal trade. Godzilla's going to say, hey, would you like to buy some stock? And Sharktopus is going to say, yeah, I would really like that. So Godzilla's going to sell this stock to Sharktopus and going to make the money from it. And I've tried to keep things simple, but there's also a broker, maybe the same broker, maybe a different one between them helping this deal. So this part of the deal, just from here, this looks like a regular trade. What makes it special? Well, what makes it special is this stock actually belongs to the broker, but Godzilla is the one that got the money. This is a nice trick, isn't it? Now everyone's like, oh, I want to sell stuff I don't own. Right? In other words, I could sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. I don't own it, but if you give me $1 million, I could give it to you, you know? So what makes this shorting? Well, Godzilla sold something that isn't hers. And so, okay, so Sharktopus is going to say, thank you so much for the stock, and he's going to go. And Sharktopus is living his best life owning that stock. Now we've got an awkward situation because the broker, after some amount of time, is going to come back to Godzilla and say, hey, you owe me some stock. So Godzilla is going to have to find someone else who owns stock. Now, the good news is, here comes another spider, and this spider happens to have some stock. So Godzilla's like, wow, this is awesome. Can I buy this stock from you? And Spider's like, yeah, sure, that sounds good. And so the really weird thing is suddenly then Spider's the seller, Godzilla is now the buyer, and the Spider sells Godzilla the stock. Godzilla gives Spider some money and then is able to give the stock back to the broker, and Magie, Godzilla ends up with extra money. Spider has some money, Godzilla has some money, the broker has the stock. Now, don't feel bad for the broker, because at each step of the way, the broker is generally making money, either off of the trades or off of interest that he's either charging Godzilla or he's charging all the other folks. Or the other way that brokers can make money is if they're holding money for other people, they're also earning interest off of it. So don't feel bad for the broker. Broker's doing just fine. So this seems like a perfect situation. Let's review. Would you hold that for me, please, Godzilla? There we go. Okay, so to short a stock, this is what you do. You borrow shares of a stock, usually from a brokerage. Sell the shares, right? Godzilla sold them to Sharktopus. Wait, at some point, use the money you made from selling them to buy them to give back to the broker. This is just brilliant. It's like we're printing money. Well, yes and no. Let's look at the first possibility, the one that I just showed you. Godzilla sold the shares for $2 each, right? So Godzilla had the $2 and then bought the shares later for $1 each, right? Paid Spider $1. There's a profit of $1. This is brilliant. This is where we are right now. Godzilla got to keep some of the money. So when would this happen? Well, let's say that you happen to know that stock is going to be $2 today, but tomorrow the stock is going to go way down in price. For example, not that I'm saying it's going to happen, but what if you happen to know or suspect that tonight everyone's going to discover that Facebook actually gives your cats toe cancer? And suddenly everyone's like, oh no, I want to get rid of Facebook. And the price of Facebook shares go way down. Not that I'm saying they do. This is all just imaginary. But if you anticipate stock prices going down, then you sell the stock today for $2, you buy the stock tomorrow for $1, and you make a profit. Okay, so this is perfect, right? This is lovely and wonderful. And why would it ever go bad? Let's go back to the moment right before Godzilla met the second spider. So Godzilla, remember, sold, where did, we have to go back. Let's go back to the beginning. There we go. Broker loans Godzilla some stock. Godzilla sells that to Sharktopus. Sharktopus gives Godzilla the money. Sharktopus runs off with the stock. Everyone's happy. Spider shows up. Spider has the stock. And then Spider is a member of a subreddit. And in this subreddit, they watch for folks like Godzilla to suddenly be doing weird things with stock. And Godzilla is making such a loud noise, selling stock and going, I'm going to earn all the money, that Spider is like, wait a minute, I have stock. And I happen to know that Godzilla has to buy the stock because the broker's getting nervous. Broker's like, I need my stock back, dude. And Godzilla's like, I promise I will get it for you. Hello, little spider, can I have some stock? And little spider says, yes, it'll be $4 a share. And then some interesting things happen. Because now Godzilla, who only made $2 on the sale, is facing the possibility that he'll actually, or she'll have to pay $4 for this stock. And she only made $2. So she's losing $2. Let's look at this. This is in pink because I didn't have red. This is a low budget sort of operation. So if Godzilla sold the shares for $2 each and then bought the shares later for $4, that's a loss of $2 per share. Well, $2 per share is not a terrible loss. And to be honest, shorting contracts actually are used. We're not going over most of the ways people short. So you definitely, if you're interested in this topic, you should look into it. But specifically, recently, in January and February of 2021, when I'm making this, interestingly enough, a company was shorting GameStop. And some folks like Spider got wind of it and they drove the price of the stock up. Now, given that Godzilla has to buy the stock, if Spider gets together with everybody else who owns the stock, so they all get together and they agree to push the price up, Godzilla is stuck. Godzilla will have to pay to get this stock back, but because he's required to give the stock back to Spider. He has to get it back. The broker is not responsible for getting his own stock back. So if these two conspire and they say, okay, it's $1 million billion to buy the stock, Godzilla basically has to pay it or go bankrupt. So this is why there's a lot of risk associated with shorting a stock. You want to short a stock quietly. You don't want everyone to notice you're doing it, because basically then they're printing money because they're like, oh, we'll take pity on you, just at $100 a share. And then Godzilla has to pay them $100. Everything Godzilla has plus some more. We're going to have to come up with more money coming out of Godzilla's pocket. That, oh, it's such a loss. Oh, this is very sad. To pay them for the stock so that Godzilla can give it back to the broker. And then this is a very sad, despondent Godzilla. Not really, don't worry. These are all just actor puppets. They're not really doing this. They're actually very nice in real life. In fact, a couple of these are socialists. They just agreed to be in my puppet show. So, shorting. A short trade. If you sell at a given price. Remember, you sell first. If you have to buy at a higher price, if these two get wind of what you're doing and charge you a lot for the stock so you can give it back, you're going to have a loss. If you're nice and quiet about it and the stock price goes down, then you make a profit. How is this different from a regular trade? Well, it's kind of the opposite, right? In a regular trade, which oddly enough, I'm not sure if I said this, is sometimes called a long trade. It's an old use of the word. Going long means to own the stock. Going short means you don't own it, you're borrowing it. So a regular trade, you buy first, and then, so buy low, sell high, right? A short, you sell high, and you try to buy low. So you're going in the reverse. Another way to look at it, if it helps, to make a profit, whatever you sell the stock for, the shares for, that has to be greater than whatever you bought them for. If when you sell it, that price is less than what you spent to buy it, you'll have a loss. What do you guys think? Woohoo? Woohoo. Okay, curtain call. Spider, other spider. Sharktopus, Godzilla. Woohoo. Woohoo from everyone at Carnivore Theater. Hopefully this is making sense of shorting stocks. Definitely look into this topic if you're interested. There's a lot more to it. Specifically, just to whet your appetite a little bit, shorting stocks is actually something that a lot of people do to diversify their portfolios. It's a sneaky way of trying to sit on both sides of the street at the same time, which I know sounds very complicated. So when you're not sure where a stock price is going to go, sometimes people will go long and short on a stock at the same time, just to balance things out. It's a kind of insurance. So definitely, if you have any interest, definitely look into shorting stocks. I will attach some links for more information on this topic with this video. And from everybody at Carnivore Theater, you know, woohoo, mathon, dance party. You guys are awesome. Woohoo.